Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button to hear more thoughts from this nuanced baguette. Speaking of baguette, I'm currently on a 6-month no-buy and I just finished my 3rd month of the no-buy. I started my 6 months in July, at the very beginning of July, so June 30, I don't know how many days there are in June 30, I think there's 30 days past September, June, July. I actually don't know that whole phrase. Anyway, my fan is on, so I do apologize if you can hear the whirring, but it is hot today and I am wearing makeup, and you know, hot and makeup don't really mix. So unlike month 2, month 3 went off without a hitch, no buying of anything. I did buy some makeup adjacent things. So I did buy some magnetic palettes because what I ended up doing is depotting quite a few of my eyeshadow palettes, which felt very freeing. I had a couple palettes that I just thought would be better for me as single shades. So I depotted the Melt Radioactive palette, which was very easy because it is just essentially a magnetic palette. So I just took them out of that and put them into another magnetic palette to get rid of the packaging, just kind of consolidate where everything is. I also depotted my Mothership Mega from last holiday because I had never used that eyeshadow palette, but the shimmers in there I really do like, and I think I would get more use out of them as singles. And then I also depotted, I have the Violet Voss Vibes palette. Now that one I had a little bit of trouble with. I did lose 2 of those eyeshadows whenever I was depotting, but for them I got 8 of the shades, so that's fine. And the 2 shades I lost are ones that I have replicas of my collection, so it's fine. That's what I was doing with my eyeshadows. So I did buy 2 large magnetic eyeshadow palettes from Makeup Forever. I also bought makeup removing cleansing oil because I am almost out of mine, so I just replenished on that as well. These are not things that I'm not allowed to buy. They are replenishments, which I like. I'm not really including skincare in my no-buy, but I just figured I'd mention it here in case you were curious. There literally like nothing got thrown at me this month. Nothing was released this month. We're starting to see holiday releases at this time, and so far so good. It's all kind of missed me. Pat McGrath released another one of those big eyeshadow palettes, and considering I just depotted mine because I did not use it, I feel like I don't need this one. The only thing that like kind of is on my radar is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. The big guy is something that I had coveted for a very long time, and it kind of seems to be going in and out of stock because it's discontinued, and it seems that like sometimes the warehouse is finding things and it comes back into stock for a hot minute. If I can find it and get my hands on it, I think I might do that. It is a color story that I'm very interested in. It's an eyeshadow palette that I have wanted for a while, and I thought it was permanent, so I like never really rushed to get it. But now that it will not be the end of the world if it doesn't come back into stock and I don't get my hands on it. It's just something that I would like to have in my collection. And if you're new here, my makeup collection is veering a very specific way, and Natasha Denona eyeshadows are some of my favorite to work with. I have Natasha Denona on my eyes today and some glitter from Slayfire, but most of my eye look today is Natasha Denona. It's actually the Metropolis palette, so feeling very like gold nymphy something happening with my eyes today. A Natasha Denona palette is never a bad buy. Also, Natasha Denona palette is what I bought last month with a gift card, so let's not come at me hard and fast. I did not have the gift card rule. The gift card rule is now in effect. I won't buy things with my gift card. However, I do feel that the gold palette would get very loved in my collection. I would very much enjoy having it in my collection. And selfishly, I do want that, just the palette itself, meaning like the container for it, so I can make some fun color stories with all of the Natasha Denona eyeshadows that I have, because for those of you who don't know, anything larger than the mini Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, they all are removable. So if the pan is the same size, you can kind of like mix and match them. So there's like the midi size pans, and then there's the large full size pans. And so it would be nice to have that to like create my own palettes, which is something that I think I'm gonna start doing once I get through all of the stuff I want to review, because that's something that I'm really looking to do with my collection with the remaining time I have in my no-buy. I also am considering extending my no-buy. I'm not 100% about that at this time, but I might extend it to a full year and not buy anything until next July. But we're gonna see. It also might turn into something whenever, like, if I run out of a foundation, when I replenish, I might buy a new foundation. So instead of just replenishing the foundation that I liked and knew I liked or whatever, just to try something different. I haven't come to all of my conclusions on that. You'll know more information when I do. But I like this trajectory that I'm currently on with the no-buy. I do think it's going rather well for me. I do find that doing the anti-hauls is a very good way to keep my focus, because when I come into the anti-haul, I just kind of started being like, I'm gonna no-buy, so I'm not gonna buy any of this, which is like a very good black and white. But then I also talk about positive things and things that I like about the products that I'm anti-hauling too, if I do have positive things to say about them. So there is that, which I find to be very helpful. I will also say being friends with Tiffany is like a pretty good test of my we will shit talk ugly palettes, and there's like actually a lot of times where I really like something that Tiffany doesn't end up thinking is a very good thing, like the Hindash palette, which she called Hot Topic makeup whenever it launched, and I was like, I want it, and I do own it. So yeah, as my no-buy continues, this is the month, so we're in October. And I did mention this whenever I did my no-buy intro, that I'm going on a trip this month, so I'm intending on buying a fragrance as my little trip treat, what to remember this trip by. However, that could be also turned into a makeup item as well. It will be whatever sings to my heart the loudest when I'm on this trip and whenever I see what I see. So don't hold me to that. Oh, I also replenished a MAC Fix Plus because I did run through a MAC Fix Plus, and I like MAC Fix Plus. You know, I bought a new one, so I just replenished that. But yeah, this was kind of like a low-key month. I'm like very okay with this. More months like this, less challenging months like last month. Yeah, I'm overall very happy, feeling very mentally well, feeling good that I'm not spending money on makeup. Because now every time I like use an eyeshadow palette, or there was something that I removed from my drawers, and I was like, this is getting decluttered, and now I can't even remember what it is. But it has been removed from my drawers. So I'm looking to like rearrange my collection just a little bit too, kind of to consolidate. And so I'm finding that there is some packaging that is magnetic that I didn't know. So I might be moving some more things into larger palettes. Like, I have 3 of the KVD vegan beauty blushes, and you can actually remove those from the pan. So I'm thinking about keeping one of those containers and then putting the blushes that I'm not using into a magnetic palette. I'm just trying to find a good way, something that makes sense for me to like rotate through my collection in a better way. So my drawers are starting to look empty, but not really because I've removed volume. The only volume I've removed is packaging. But I do feel when I open my drawers, they're just starting to look better. They're starting to feel better. I like where we're headed. And I just like hope as I continue to love my collection as it is, that I feel better about my collection. Like I love that I'm starting to be just feeling revitalized by my collection. And that's feeling good. I'm checking in with some new footage. So I recorded the footage that you saw talking about my 3rd month of my no-buy a couple days ago. And I did talk about how I felt like if the gold palette were to reemerge, if I were able to get my hands on it, that I might consider doing that. So I felt like whenever I used my gift card, that I want to talk about it because I am technically on a no-buy. Technically, I guess I'm not on a no-buy since I did purchase this. But in my 2nd month, I bought a small Natasha Denona palette with a gift card where I did not spend any of my own money. And in my initial rules, I did not clarify, or I did not make the distinction that I wouldn't use gift cards. And then I was like, definitely not going to be using gift cards to like circumvent the no-buy. That's not what I intended to do. I felt very guilty about buying that Natasha Denona palette because I think I know in my heart and I know deep down in my soul that I bought that palette with the gift card as an excuse. Like, I used my gift card and I was like, it doesn't count because I'm not spending my money. It's fine. It's fine for me to buy this because it's just whatever. And I bought it because it was on sale and my gift card covered it in full and it was like normal, whatever. In my brain, I was like, it's a good deal. I should buy it. Now, the way I feel differently about this. Yes, I bought this. I actually did use gift cards for part of it, so I did not pay full price for it, which is fine by me. However, the Natasha Denona Gold palette is actually something that I had my eye on for quite a bit of time. And whenever I caught wind that it was quietly being discontinued, I was like, and then it was just gone. I felt some kind of way because I was just like, well, that was something that I knew I was gonna buy in the future. It just wasn't a now purchase. And I actually watched Hannah's video. So if you follow me because Hannah had recommended me, this is me coming to you with my tail between my legs. Hannah did a whole video about how you don't need the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And I agree. No one needs it. However, it was something that I did feel like if I missed out on it, I was gonna miss out on it and feel some kind of way. And so I had some kind of notification on Sephora. Whenever something comes back into stock, you can have it notify you. And it came back into stock and I just kind of snagged it. And I'm actually excited to have it, but technically I have broken my no buy, which I have complicated feelings about because this is definitely something this was part of the game plan. This was always something that I was going to want to have in my collection and grab for my collection. It just doesn't feel like the same energy. Whereas I feel a lot of guilt for that other thing I bought during my no buy with the gift card, this doesn't fulfill that. This is something that I've always wanted. I've always pined over. It's been out for a few years. I just didn't take the time to buy it because I thought it was permanent and I didn't think it was going to go away. So I was able to get my hands on it, bought it from Sephora. And so while I really want to come here and feel an immense amount of guilt, I don't think that's helpful to the no buy, which I am gonna continue seeing out with no purchases through the rest of the year, extenuating circumstances. And I might even extend it, and not as some kind of karmic retribution for me purchasing this palette, just because I have been enjoying the process of the no buy and being more critical. Whereas this purchase feels more thought out to me because it was something that I was always intending on purchasing. It just went away and then it came back for a hot flash in the pan. And I was like, I want that in my collection. It has a place in my collection. It will be loved. And that's why it's in my collection. And that's why I have it in my collection. This was a circumstance how am I supposed to qualify this, right? Because how would I know? And I realized that other limited edition things are going to come out and be discontinued in the time of the rest of my no buy and have in the first 3 months of my no buy. This somehow just feels different to me. And it's okay if you disagree. And it's okay if you're on a no buy. I think, watching my content and you came here for no buy content and you see me purchase something, I can understand you feel some kind of way. I think I would too if I was a viewer. But I just wanted to be upfront and transparent that this is something that I did purchase and is in my collection now. Because I do want to use it, right? And it would be ashamed for me to buy this and then hide it for 3 months and then be oh, by the way, I bought this. It's of course it wasn't in my collection before my no buy, and then all of a sudden it is in my collection. So that's why I'm telling you. As I'm sitting with these feelings, it is a weird, complicated thing, but it's not negative like it was for the other palette. And I hope that makes sense. I'm just gonna cut back to the original intro I posted. Feel free, we can have discourse about this in the comments. Only polite discourse. I don't want to be shamed for the decision that I decided to make because I'm an adult and I made the decision myself. And I do intend on continuing my no buy. I don't foresee any circumstances like this happening in the future because why would they? This was just a very particular thing that I had been pining over for a very long time. I don't know, I feel I'm telling my mom that I did something bad by doing this. And I do feel a little bit of a rebel, but I promise you there will be no secret purchasing, and for transparency, that's why I told you. So I'm gonna cut back to that original outro, but again, would love to have some discourse in the comments. Has this ever happened to you? Let's talk about it. And I think that's like a perfectly fine thing for us to land on. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did watch the end, thank you so much. Please like this video. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. Again, gay rights, nuanced baguette. That's who I am. We love gay rights here. If you're on a no-buy, would love to hear about what's going on with you when you're a no-buy in my comment section below. I would love to have a little bit of back and forth about our no-buys. You know, it's tough stuff, especially when you are someone who has some impulse control issues. So it's nice to have that support. If you liked my voice and want to hear more of it, I appear on 3 different podcasts. Check them out in my link tree in my description box below. And if you're interested in this jewelry that I am wearing, I will link that down below as well. I'm not affiliated with this jewelry maker. I just really like them. So if you want to go support the local business to me, check them out. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Friends.